Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to my recap of Season 2, Episode 3 of Insecure. I need Issa to figure out her life. Like, what you need to do is go to therapy with Molly, and or you need to lay down and sit still. I get it. You just went through a breakup. It was abrupt. Your feelings are hurt. You don't want to be alone. You're lonely. You're sexually frustrated. Ma'am, I get it. But what you're doing, baby girl, you can't hold right. How you not gonna activate for Luke James, but you gonna activate for like the do nothing living in your apartment building? Girl, hoeing is not your ministry. You can't even fuck yourself right, babe. You go and get your vibrator and you can't even find the proper batteries. Girl, sit down. Be humble. Something. At least Issa's work life is going okay. She's got a bunch of kids coming into the classroom. Frizzy hair coworker Frida is complaining though. The school is majority Latino and we're not catering to the obvious demographic here. And Issa's like, why are you trying to block our blessing? Especially since Issa's the lead on this project. The vice principal calls Issa's boss. He gives her a nice shout out. Her boss is really happy with her. But Frizzy hair, I see her messing this whole situation up. I see her doming out the vice principal and complaining about the demographics and getting the whole thing shut down. She's going to be well-intentioned because honestly, she is right to be concerned about the lack of Latino students. She's going to do it all in the wrong way and it's going to mess this program up. Issa and the little homie that she's trying to knock down, she's finally addressing the burn marks on her wall. She decides to paint over the wall. In any other case, this would indicate somebody wanting a fresh start and new beginnings. No, she just don't want to see them burn marks on her wall no more. She happens to see old boy lounging out by the pool. He's not a looker, but she's looking. Girl, I don't understand your choices. Luke James didn't do it for you, but you just gonna knock down some strange at your residence? That's just drama waiting to happen. You don't do your dirt where you work and you don't do your dirt where you sleep. You breaking all kinds of hoe rules. If you're gonna be a hoe, knock down some quality meat. Standards. There are hoe standards. Ma'am. Issa tries to bless herself. How are you not able to pleasure yourself? The batteries didn't work in the vibrator. Ma'am, you still have hands. But Issa gets the bright idea to go check up on Building Boo. I can't call him Bae because no. She grabs her own damn charger and goes over to his house and pretends that he left the charger at her house during the party. Ma'am, what are you going to charge your phone with? He invites her in to smoke. He's sitting on the couch watching the bootleg of Gossip Girl. Okay. Not okay. What are you doing? Dude isn't making a move, so Issa awkwardly tries to put it on him. He ends up hitting her in the face. They finally get things kind of going. He asks if he can abort mission. This is not even worth your time. Issa's dedicated to this cause. Questions that need answers. Where are the condoms in this series? We've seen a bunch of sex scenes. I'm yet to see anybody pull out a condom, mention any form of birth control. I wondered if it's an attempt to be realistic. Given the CDC statistics on sexually transmitted infections, a lot of people are out here going raw. Maybe that's what they're trying to depict on the show. Maybe there's a storyline coming of Issa getting a sexually transmitted infection and freaking out about it. I think that's a really important topic for a show like this. I don't think the show has a responsibility to be responsible, but it's something that I would like to see because the lack of condom usage may be realistic, but like it needs to be addressed. Your boy Lawrence is laid up with Tasha. She's trying to watch TV. He's trying to. They're laid up like they're in a relationship. For some bizarre reason, Lawrence agrees to go to Tasha's barbecue. He skips a work event to show up to this barbecue with some chairs. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Lawrence seems thrown off. They're treating him like he's Tasha's significant other, which is kind of what happens when you show up at a family event of someone that you're dating. I don't know how long Lawrence actually stays, but it doesn't seem like a long time. He tells Tasha that he has to bounce and he'll be back. I knew when he said it that she wasn't going to see him again that day. Lawrence goes to the work event. It's much more his vibe. These are his co-workers. They're also techies. They're really cool. He ain't thinking not a bit about Tasha. I was a little surprised that Tasha called him and then also called him on his. Like, she's been very passive with Lawrence up until this point. But she's really pissed because she invited this dude to the barbecue. Of course, she told her family all about him. On paper, Lawrence looks like a really great guy. She's very embarrassed. Like, she calls Lawrence and is like, you ghosted on me in front of my family. Lawrence hits her with, well, you know, I just got out of a relationship. Like, I'm not really looking for anything serious. Then why did you go to her barbecue, my dude? You don't think this is a conversation maybe you should have had before you agreed to go? Or do you think maybe you should have declined? She tells him the truth about himself. You're a and you're the worst kind of because you think you're a nice guy, which is true. I don't have anything else to add about her assessment of Lawrence. I've been saying Lawrence is a since season 1 when he was comfortable having Issa pay the bills while he sat on the couch. Tasha's observation, a little late, but dead on. Tasha is very accurate about Lawrence, but I also want her to take some accountability in this situation because she pushed up on him knowing he had a girlfriend. When he broke up with old girl, he showed up at her house. They ain't been on nan one date, but she lets him smash. You didn't start off like you were looking for any kind of relationship. You presented yourself as a complacent side piece. He tells you that he slept with his ex. He comes back a couple days later with an apology. You never made him work to show any real interest. You're like, oh, okay, you want a home cooked meal? And you probably let him smash that night too. He showed up at your house for 4 months on weekends. It wasn't until his boy pointed out his pattern that he was like, oh, maybe I should actually take this girl out on a date. And still, we're unclear on whether he split the shrimp with you or he made you split the check. Interested in building a relationship. He seems very interested in not wanting to be alone. You required nothing of him. And when you finally did, months down the line, you saw he wasn't down. You played a role in this situation that you found yourself in with this man. And I'm not saying that to take accountability off of Lawrence. He deserves to be called. And even after she said all of this to him, I don't think that's the end of Tasha. Because as much as Lawrence doesn't want to be alone, Tasha doesn't want to be alone either. I don't think that she's done with him. I'd be really surprised actually if she was. Molly is taking some much needed time off of dating. She's got a therapist. She says somewhere in the episode that she's looking for a new therapist. And I'm like, man, why? Because the one you have is doing the Lord's work. She's also feeling the effects of being single. She goes to pick up a piece of furniture. The guy assumes that the black guy who's also waiting for furniture is with her. And she's like, no, not with me. She's got on heels and her work clothes. And she ends up carrying this big piece of furniture to her car. And then she, watches the guy pick up the furniture for his lady, his non-black lady, and conveniently put it in the trunk without a struggle. Later, she's getting some cupcakes and she runs into one of her couple friends. She notices how cute they are together, how easy breezy their interaction was. Later, she and Issa are at the house and Issa's talking about, Molly, can you teach me how to hoe? Which, crazy thing to ask, but let's not act like Molly doesn't know a little bit about hoeing. Issa has this idea that she and Molly should, just get out more. So they end up going to the club. Issa's a horrible hoe. You ain't been in a relationship all your life. You're out here like a 13-year-old girl at her first party. Like, you have no skills whatsoever, ma'am. I'm trying to figure out how you pulled Lawrence. But while Issa's struggling, Molly's across the room having some chit-chat with Sterling K. Brown. Now, sir, I need you to really go home to Beth and your daughters. I don't like to see you out in the streets like this. I need you to go home and be with your family on NBC. You want to be out here looking for Strange on HBO. At least Molly's a cute chick. She's in a much better place than she was months ago. Theoretically, this could be a good match. He comes across as a genuinely nice guy. Molly ain't a bit more interested. I kind of get it, even though it's Sterling K. Brown, even though he's playing yet another really great guy. Just because a man is a nice guy or a great guy doesn't mean he's the guy. And also, they go on a date and he's talking to her about marriage on the first date, which to me is a red flag. That says to me, you just out here looking for anybody. You just want a companion. I don't want to just fill a void in your life. I don't want to just be like, insert girlfriend, insert wife here. It could be me or anybody. I want you to think there's something about marrying me or dating me, not just I'll take any woman because I don't want to be alone, which is kind of how he comes across. Or he could have just been interested, but you don't know her to talk about marriage. So no, desperate. And bless Molly's heart, Molly just gave up on trying to put the furniture together. She makes good money, so she made a call and she hired some folks to do what she don't have a man to do. You don't have a man around, that is not an excuse to let your life fall into shambles. You can hire people to do a boyfriend's job. That includes buying a vibrator. Just please get the extra batteries. Go on, take yourself to Costco, get the big pack. Everybody knows what you're buying them for. It's the year of our Lord 2017. There is no shame in using a vibrator. Get you a bob in your life. Shout out to homie Raheem Devon. It won't do you like a man can, but you will not get STIs from it. And that is priceless. Back at Issa's building, she's sneaking out of humping old boy. Her hair is all messed up. Nothing about him said to me that he could put it down where you would mess up some hair, sweat out some curls. But her hair looks a wreck. I know he ain't put it down because she took her charger back. If he laid good pipe, she would have intentions of going back to get some more. She's sneaking out the house. He offers that she could stay. She's like, no, I'm good. Again, if it was good, she would have stayed so they could have another round. Maybe something right then, maybe something in the morning. He ain't put it down like that. Issa leaves and she's walking back to her apartment. She gets an alert on her phone. She's got a new Tinder bag. So I froze the screen and tried to like zoom in. It looked to me like it was Molly's coworker, the TSA dude from Get Out. Because now that like her Tinder babe was Luke James, every time she gets an alert, I'm like, ooh, are we getting a new cameo this week from a special star? Was it him? I thought it looked like him. I could be completely wrong about this. The guy's name is Felix, and I went on IMDb to look up and see what his name was, and it didn't come up. But Issa girl, hoeing ain't for you. You need to be in a relationship or you need to be alone. Because you out in the world ain't working for you, boo. Not at all. That's my recap of the latest episode of Insecure. Let me know what you thought of the recap. Let me know what you thought of the episode. And yeah, I'll see you next week.